Truth or dare? Leah dragged her eyes across each of us, one by one, and I sensed something dark slowly unfurling inside of her. This wasn't going to end well. Cassie. It didn't seem fair that it was my turn again already, when Dean had yet to go. But I stepped up to the plate. Dare. I don't know what possessed me to choose that option, other than the fact that the look on Leah's face convinced me that she'd make Sloane's question look about as personal as an inquiry about the weather. Leah beamed at me, and then beamed at Michael. Payback. I dare you, Leah said, relishing each and every word, to kiss Dean. Dean reacted to that sentence like he'd been electrocuted. He sat straight up. Leah, he said sharply, no. Oh, come now, Dean, Leah cajoled. It's truth or dare. Take one for the team. Without waiting for his reply, she turned back to me. Kiss him, Cassie. I didn't know what was worse, Dean's objection to the idea of being forced to kiss me, or the sudden realization that my body didn't object to the idea of kissing him. I thought of our lessons with Locke, the feel of his hand on the back of my neck. Leah watched me expectantly, but Michael's eyes were the ones I felt on my face as I crossed the room to stand in front of Dean. I didn't have to do this. I could say no. Dean looked up at me, and for a split second, I saw something other than deadly neutrality on his face. His eyes softened, his lips parted, like there was something he wanted to say. I knelt next to the fireplace. I put one hand on his cheek, and I brought my lips to his. It was a friendly kiss, a European hello. Our mouths only touched for a second, but I felt it, electric, all the way to my toes. I pulled back, unable to force my eyes away from his lips as I did. For a few seconds, we just stayed there, staring at each other. Him on the fireplace, and me kneeling on the rug. Your turn, Cassie. Leah sounded pretty darned satisfied with herself. I forced myself to stand up and walk back to the sofa. I sat down, still able to feel the ghost of Dean's lips on mine. Truth or dare, Dean? It was only fair. He was the sole person present who hadn't been in the hot seat yet. For a second, I thought he might refuse and call an end to this game, but he didn't. Truth. This was the opportunity Michael hadn't given me. There were so many things I wanted to know. I concentrated on that instead of what had passed between us a moment before. The other day, when Locke said she couldn't take Leah to the crime scene, you said that wasn't what the program was anymore. I paused. What did you mean? Dean nodded, as if that were a perfectly reasonable question to ask after you'd kissed a person. I was the first one, he said. Before there was a program, before they started using the term naturals, it was just Briggs and me. I didn't live with Judd. The FBI brass didn't know about me. Briggs brought me questions. I gave him answers. Questions about killers. I wasn't allowed a follow-up question, so I phrased it as a statement. Dean nodded. Leah cut in, breaking off all conversation. He was 12, she said, clipping the words. Your turn, Dean. Cassie, Dean said. That was it. No truth or dare, just my name. Beside me, Michael's jaw clenched. Leah's payback had hit its target, and then some. Truth, I said, trying not to dwell on Michael's reaction or what it might mean. Why did you come here? Dean asked, looking at Leah, at his own hands, at anything but me. Why join this program at all? There were a lot of answers to that question that would have been technically true. I could have said that I wanted to help people. I could have said that I'd always known that I'd never quite fit in the regular world. But I didn't. My mother was murdered. I cleared my throat, trying to say the words like they were just any other words. 5 years ago, based on the blood spatter, they think she was stabbed. Repeatedly. The police never found her body, but there was enough blood that they don't think she could have survived. I used to think that maybe she had. I don't anymore. Dean didn't react visibly to that confession, but Leah went unnaturally still, and Sloane's mouth dropped open as she averted her eyes. Michael had known about my mother, but I'd never said a word to any of the others. Truth or dare, Dean? I wanted to say the words, but I couldn't keep asking Dean questions. Already, we'd kept this game between the two of us for too long. Truth or dare, Leah? Truth. Leah said the word like a challenge. I asked her whether she was messy or neat. She lowered her chin, raised her eyebrows, and stared at me. Seriously? She said. That's your question? That's my question, I confirmed. I'm a mess, she said, by every sense of the word. She didn't give me time to meditate on the fact that I'd pegged her right before she targeted Michael for the next round. I expected him to pick dare again, but he didn't. Truth. Leah ran dainty hands over her dress. She gave him her most wide-eyed, innocent look. Then she asked him if he was jealous when I kissed Dean. Michael didn't bat an eye, but I thought Dean might actually throttle Leah. I don't get jealous, Michael said. I get even. No one was surprised when Michael aimed the next round at Dean. Truth or dare, Dean? Truth. Dean's eyes narrowed, and I remembered Leah saying that if Dean had a temper, Michael would have been dead by now. I waited, my stomach heavy and my throat dry, for Michael to ask Dean something horrible. But he didn't. Have you ever seen The Bad Seed? He inquired politely. The movie. A muscle in Dean's jaw twitched. No. Michael grinned. I have. Dean stood up. I'm done here. Dean. Leah's tone was halfway between mulish and wheedling, but he silenced her with a look. 2 seconds later, he was stalking out of the room, and a few seconds after that, I heard the front door open, then slam. Dean was gone, and a person didn't have to be an emotion reader to see the look of satisfaction on Michael's face. You. Every hour, every day, you think about the girl. But it's not time for the grand finale. Not yet. Instead, you find another toy at a little shop in DuPont Circle. You've had your eye on her for a while, but resisted the urge to add her to your collection. She was too close to home, in an area that was too densely populated. But right now, the so-called Madame Celine is just what you need. Bodies are bodies, but a palm reader. There's a certain poetry to that. A message you want, need, have to send. It would be simpler to kill her in the shop, to drive a knife through each palm and leave her body on display. But you've worked so hard this week. You deserve a little treat. Taking her is easy. You're a ghost, a stranger with candy a sympathetic ear. When Madame Celine wakes up in the warehouse, she won't believe that you're the one who's done this to her. Not at first, but eventually she'll see. You smile, thinking about the inevitability of it all. You touch the tips of her brown hair and pick up the handy box of red dye number 12. You hum under your breath, a children's song that takes you back to the beginning, back to the first. The palm reader's eyes flicker open. Her hands are bound. She sees you. Then she sees the hair dye, the knife in your left hand, and she realizes you are the monster. And this time, you deserve to take things